Hey, John.
At what moment did you discover that you just had to be a musician?
Huh. That's a good question. Well, I don't think there's a specific moment. You know that. So in our house, my father was a musician. He played in a military band. So you just grow up with music and instruments lying around all the time. So, but I do remember actually one specific thing. So I was already playing euphonium and going with my dad to a concert in Amsterdam in the Concertgebouw, where both the Navy band and the military band were playing then together, one concert together. That we went there, and always that was for me, you know, as a young boy, it was a great event. And one day I decided, okay, I want to be in the Concertgebouw. I think it was 9 or 10 or something. So. And absolutely crazy thinking, but it really felt like something that I wanted to do. Just the sound in the hall, and at that point it was not like. Well, later on it became like you know, any musical work, like any band. So a military band was already for me something that I wanted to do. But well.
Do you think playing in your town band or having that around influenced you in a way as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, not well. I would say the development. So starting in a town band, and if you're lucky, it's a high level. And I went actually with some of the bands that my father conducted. I went with them playing there, and already pretty fast I went into the National Youth Wind Orchestra. And I have to say, in that orchestra, I really learned so much in you know, sight reading fast and everything, stuff like this, and you know, already playing in big halls and everything. So for me, I think that was a big thing. Yeah.
And you're going back on stage every week, playing with orchestras and everything. What is your necessity for going back on stage?
What do you mean exactly with?
Well, is there something inside you that just has to be on stage performing? Is there something in particular that motivates you to always go back on? Or is there something that you think of to motivate yourself to always go back on stage and play how you play?
That's a hard question, actually. Because, you know, you just go on stage so much because it's your job. You know, I play 3-4 concerts a week. So that's a weird experience, actually. When I'm on stage rehearsing or playing a concert, because I'm sitting there so much, it feels, you know, like home. It feels like also the view that I have of the hall. You know, I see that so much. But then when I go sit in the hall and listen to my own orchestra when I'm not playing, this feels totally weird. Like I cannot even imagine that I am in that orchestra, and I'm almost I would say afraid going on stage, for instance, right? But that doesn't happen, of course. But in a normal job, you just go on stage and so I think if that answers your question, it's almost also something like an addiction, that you are on stage and you present your sound in the orchestra, into the hall, and communicate with the audience. So, but I don't think I'm not sure if that's really a very conscious thing that I do. But I think I just like that. I don't know. Yeah.
What has been your most memorable concert?
Huh. That's also hard.
Or maybe, you know, another way to look at it is, what is your most memorable musical experience?
Yeah, you know, that's also difficult because I have more, but it's also connected to how in what phase in your life you are yourself. So, for instance, my first year in the Concertgebouw Orchestra, because it's also your probation year. It's probation year.
Yeah.
You say, yeah. You are very open and tense anyway, and everything is new. So I remember that I had to play La Petrushka in the week that my tenure, you say then,
yes,
was being discussed. So this was very special to me and very excited. And I remember those concerts almost like every moment. But I think one of the most impressive concerts is that I played Mahler's Sixth Symphony with Marius Jansons in my first season. And I think that the orchestra was very special. The first concert we played, and I was really swept off my feet. What was happening around me, the quality of my colleagues, and how everybody kind of moved to a higher level, basically. And that really happened on the the rehearsals were great, were fine, but on this first concert it was like everything together went up a whole other level. And luckily enough, I thought I was able to, to give my thing too, because I really felt I had the space and the freedom to also give my thing. And as you know, the Model 6 part in Tuba has a lot of licks.
Yes.
So that's one that I remember most. But it's the same question, like if you had to take one recording to an island.
Right.
It's kind of a difficult question. There's so many beautiful moments.
Right.
So now that I say that, maybe then already I thought, oh no, this is another one. But this is a very special concert.
So whenever you play Petrushka now,
yeah,
are you brought back to that moment when you had to play?
Absolutely. Yes.
For tenure.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially to that rehearsal. So the day after they said to me, okay, you have the job. Then the day after we had still a rehearsal coming. And I know that Janssens really, he wanted to discuss a little bit more, and he wanted actually to postpone maybe even the decision after the Petrushka concerts. But luckily enough, all my colleagues, they fought for me and they said, no, this is not going to happen. We have to decide now, and so they decided well. And I heard everything, of course, afterwards from my colleagues. So I was really excited showing Janssens really that that it was the right decision.
Right.
So he got something. Yeah.
What do you think music organizations can do better to grow and cultivate their audience today?
Well, I think you know more about this than I do, huh? But it's difficult, like an orchestra like Concertgebouw Orchestra is not. They have kind of luxury because they have an audience coming. So if you ask this question, then I think more of the chamber music side that I do.
Yes.
So playing the solos and playing with the brass ensemble. And it seems like pretty hard to reach people these days because there's so much going on. So in a way, I hope that social media things, you can reach people. But probably it's also good, if people can hear a little bit more what they're going to expect. So you have to kind of surprise them. Also, when you play solo tuba, like, who's going to see a poster and then saying, hey, there's a new solo concerto for tuba. I go there. Well, not so much people.
Right.
So that's kind of hard. But if it's connected to also some festival, then it's already easier.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. Kind of in the same direction, is there anything you wish that was different about the business of music in regards to an orchestra or maybe chamber music that you've seen happening?
Different. Well, it would be great if it was a little bit, like just what we talked about, easier to get, especially for instruments like tuba, to get into festivals where kind of the whole setting where you play is arranged. Now it seems like you really have to organize everything yourself to make it going, which is fine, and you learn a lot. But it also takes your mind off the thing that you want to do, namely playing your greatest thing. And but I'm not sure if that's really possible these days. That I think you have to do it yourself,
right,
to do a lot. And and in a symphony orchestra world, I don't know what you really could change there. I think it's it's kind of good how it is.
Yeah. Well, speaking of doing all the work yourself,
yeah,
you're doing something right now, aren't you?
Right.
In regards to doing it all yourself.
Yes. So yeah, that's I started this project about 3 years ago. My first thought that I wanted to to create new pieces for tuba, and that's basically inspired by people like Roger Bobo and Michael Lind, that in their time they really did an extra effort for the tuba in talking to composers to write for them, and because of that now we have great pieces which we play on competitions and on exams and everything, really good new pieces. So I thought that's something that I wanted to do, to create these new pieces. So and also as a tribute to where I came from, the thing we just talked about, so the wind band scene. My first idea was to make new pieces with wind band accompaniment. So with a fanfare band, which is not so common outside of Holland and Belgium,
right.
but it's goes a little bit too far to explain, but you kind of know. And with brass band, and of course with a normal wind band or symphonic wind band. And this, the funny thing is that I find the composers pretty fast, and also that they wanted to write the pieces. So then I had 5 new pieces, and I decided also to make a recording of this. So right now I'm in the middle of all this. One piece is being recorded with the brass band of Paul Lovett Cooper, and so the whole project is going to take until March 2012, when the last recording is. I just, a couple of days ago, I received a piece by Oliver Westby, he's a Swiss composer, and this is really challenging new tuba concerto. So I'm practicing a lot. The premiere of this is going to be on 24 November with a Royal Military Band in Steenwijk. But I think on your website there will be hopefully some information.
Yes.
And then and in December then I play the premiere of this fanfare piece with the very famous fanfare from Achel, Belgium, conducted by my former colleague Ivan Meilemans, which I'm looking very much forward to this project. Yeah. And with them I record a piece also in January. Also, which a very nice thing is that on January 28, 2012, I will be playing the tuba concerto by Oliver Westby in Lucerne, in the big hall there where we always play with the orchestra. So I'm very excited about that. So, but yeah, I have to kind of organize everything myself, basically, and but it's it's very exciting, and I learn a lot. And I'm glad that now I'm in the phase that I have the music and I can practice. And
And it's a CD of all original music.
Yeah, so it's the CD of 5 new pieces for tuba.
I mean, that's just, for any instrument, that's a feat. To have something on that large scale, all these different bands, completely new solo music, for someone who's already busy enough as it is.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, it's giving me, gray hairs and everything. But it was the only way that I wanted to do this project. Although sometimes I thought, well, this is really sometimes too much. But it is an exciting project, and I really am excited that I have 5 new pieces coming up. And and luckily enough, I have a lot of also financial help from all different kinds of organizations, because you can imagine this is really high budget thing. And the great thing is that I am working with very skilled people in the recording session, like Gert Buitenhuis. He's a former conductor and the chief of the Navy band, which I talked about. And we're working with Jaap de Jong. He's an old Philips recording engineer. So I have a lot of experience with those people, and great conductors and everything. So so it's a very exciting project, basically.
Yes, great. Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yes.